Good morning, happy Wednesday. Just curious if anybody with the front that came through in the night felt additional stiffness. I heard a yes over here. So that happens in Florida just the way it happens in Iowa. So I kind of thought that myself. In fact, my fingers, before you guys got here, I was doing some finger work, and those thumbs, I'm like, oh, I wonder what I did yesterday, or it could just be the front that came in. I don't know. So I thought we would work our little experiment of looking to the right and looking to the left, and then doing our little footwork, and then seeing if we see an improvement in our range of motion. So I'm just going to assume we're all a little stiffer this morning. So let's get our baseline. We're going to sit, find our good posture in the chair. And when you're ready with a long spine, pressing your sits bone into the chair, turn your neck to the right and find that spot. And remember it, because we're going to come back to it after a series of exercises. So find and memorize a gaze as far right as you can look, as your neck allows you this morning, and then come back. And then look the other way. And already do you notice that one seems to go further, one side is better than the other? Okay, so there's your first homework of the class, so remember that. Now we're going to go through that foot stretching exercise. So if you remember, starting with the right foot, any foot, we're going to walk our toes out in front of us. We're going to flex the foot, bringing the toes back. Curling the toes tight. Placing it down on the mat. Uncurling the toes and then pulling and like we're scrubbing the floor backwards. And then we're going to press the pad of our foot, raising all of our toes off the ground. So that's the sequence. So we're going to walk back out again, as far as we can walk. Flex. Curl the toes tight. Place it back on the ground. Uncurl, pull it back. Two more times, same foot. Whoops. Flex. Squeeze the toes. Place it back down on the floor. Pull it back. And then press in and raise those toes up. Time. Flex the foot. Curl those toes tight. Place it back down. Pull it back towards you. Press the pad of the foot and raise those toes up, stretch, and down. Other side, other foot. Flex. Curl the toes. Place it down. Pull that foot back. Press everything but the toes into the floor, lifting those toes up. Okay, that noise in the background is a good old rainstorm. Keep walking back out. Flex. Curl those toes. Down. Back. Press everything but the toes, lifting those toes up. Flex. Curl the toes. Back down, pull it back, we do one more. We're going to press our foot back, everything but the toes into the ground, lifting the toes up. place it down. And now let's see how much movement we've gained in our neck range of motion. So pick your side, remember where you were at. Turn to the other side and see if you can increase your range of motion. Significant difference? Mm-hmm. So no, gosh, we don't need to do any more neck work. I just think that's impressive. I know we've done that before, but just to prove that our tissue in our feet come up and wrap around the back sides of our body all the way up into our neck. So just because we're working our feet doesn't mean it's just our feet that are feeling the positive effects of our yoga. So let's continue. I mean, we did loosen up a little bit. Let's work a little bit more on our neck. So I'm going to have us take our right hand. We've done this before. So without pressing, we're just going to use as leverage our right hand and drop our right ear to the right shoulder. Maybe with each exhale, you can drop that ear a little closer. And come up. Side, so the opposite arm reaches over on top of the opposite ear. And inhale to lengthen. And exhale to drop that ear towards your shoulder. Our hands clasped behind our head for support. And we're going to do a chest opener so our elbows are wide. If you want to press back against the chair, that might help with a better stretch because then you're trusting the back of the chair. And just lean back in to the back of your chair using your hands as support. Take whatever chest opener feels good for you today. And take some good full belly breaths to expand the front of the rib cage. And if you'd like, if you want to try it, you can let go with one hand, and if that's too, and then you can let go with two hands. If that's too much, you don't need to do that. This opens the shoulder blades a little more, the shoulder, front of the shoulders. And when you're ready, slowly bring your head back up. So we've gone different directions. We went this way, we went this way, we went back. So we have one left. So the long spine is going to work towards dropping our chin to our chest, keeping our shoulders over our hips. And as your chin drops a little further with each exhale, make sure your shoulders are staying back. going to try a different movement here. We're going to hang on, pick a side of the chair, I'm going to hang on to the right side of my chair. And it's just going to be the support. So we're going to drop our other hand, hanging loose, dangling. We're just using the strength of our hand that's on the chair, just going to dangle off to the side. So you got to trust the strength in your hand, you're not going to fall over. And just let this one arm dangle, and I am feeling a stretch here, all the way down my arm. And then you can start rotating that dangling arm, taking it north and south, east and west. You can move your head, micro movements, nodding yes. Just different stretches. I suggest, just because when I'm in these poses, I always go, what would it feel like if I move my head this direction or that direction? We'll try that on the other side. So we're going to hang on to the chair. Just like we're just going to let our body sag over to the side without our shoulders coming forward. Where's everybody feeling this? Are you trusting yourself enough to feel the neck? I think the first time we do it, we're like, oh, we're supposed to feel this, and the chair will me up. And then experiment with the arm movements. And rotate your arm, rotate your wrist. Open and close your fingers. Change your gaze. Okay, let's send our legs wide, knees wide. We're going to start just loosening up our hip area. So we're going to start with some real subtle movements. And I think before I tried cueing it by just picturing your belly button making a circle. So you need to close your eyes and find what that feels like. Let's do 5 circles one way and then stop and do 5 circles the other way. But we only want to hit a small circle on our lower pelvic area and try not to move your upper body too much. Like I said, 5 one way and then rotate. What this is doing more than anything is just bringing our focus into our bodies to make that connection with moving certain body parts. Our brains help us send messages to our muscles to work. Okay, and we're going to move up a little more. So now we're getting more movement a little higher up. 5 one way. If I were drawing a circle, it wouldn't be a circle because it seems very choppy to me. Making a good circle. And we're going to keep working our way up. So now our circle is going to get a little bigger. We have a little more flexibility. So we can get a little curve hollow out the belly as we go back. And then we can press the low back against the chair, get to the back side of the chair. This is one of those movements that you just have to kind of feel for yourself. You can watch me do it, but and if you feel a certain tightness somewhere, just stay there. Work the kink out, as they say. Okay, now I'm going to move away from the back of my chair because I'm going to make my circle a little wider so we can really go bigger. So take advantage of this movement and don't cheat yourself. Go as wide as you want, stay in any spot that you want, the full range. This is almost like a cat and cow, but we're going in circles instead of just back and forth. And then don't forget to go the other way. Stir in their pot. I don't know if anybody stopped along the way. I didn't think I saw anybody doing that. So I'm going to have us do that. So we're going to just angle your body towards a certain thigh. I'm going to rotate to the right. And I'm going to try to send, almost like I'm trying to send the opposite shoulder to the knee. I don't need to torque myself like that, but I'm going to think about getting a twist and sending my rib cage towards my thigh. Really get that motion. And breathe deep into the low back. When you send a breath way to the low back, you should just feel that stretching even more, just with the power of your breath. And we'll take that forward fold through our midline, through the center. And then over to the other side. Work our way back to the center again, over to the other side. This time we're going to take, in my case, my left arm, the opposite arm of the side we're on, and we're going to bring that arm up and see if we can reach it on the outside of that little toe or somewhere on the outside of that foot. Aiming towards. Back through center again. Now we're going to bring the opposite arm, stretching it and see where on the outside of that leg can we place our arm. And we're breathing, nobody's holding their breath. Let's see a big deep inhale. Exhale. Okay, come back to center. And you can put your hands on your knees and lock yourself up. Okay, straps. I'm going to stand up because otherwise the chair kind of gets in my way. You're welcome to stand up. I'm just going to do some shoulder stretches. So go as wide as you need. We're going to go to the front and up and slowly back. You can just hang out here. Because we're stretching. We're stretching. We'll come back to the front. Now let's go to the side. We're going to go back again, but let's to the side. So we're just going to take it as far to the side as you want. Back. Without shifting, we still want to keep our hip bones pointing forward. Back to the front and to the side. And turn around to the other knee. Back to the front and up and back. And if you want, loosen up your tie, go wide enough that you can go all the way down. The slower you go down, the more stretch you're going to feel all the way. Go wide. There we go. Now go wide with the... Your right arm is elbows bent. Does it need to be bent? Can you go all the way out with the... Okay. So if we get to that point where we're kind of doing one of these, you've gone too far, go all the way out. You don't have to go all the way. It's just, it's not about making it all the way down. It's really about feeling that stretch. But I'm going to add levels along the way. So we'll start. If you need to move so you can see me, or feel free to. So I think I'll challenge the next round. Okay, so I'm sitting back against the chair. So this is the hip opener. We're just going to angle using the strength of our arms until you feel a stretch in your inner thigh. You want to send your other leg wider to try that, you can do that. Nobody's foot's cramping. Nobody's cramping. Good. I can see all the bottoms of your feet now. No. Like I have room to talk. Come back through the center line and then over to the side. Shouldn't be able to go too far on this one. Now you can feel it on the outside of that hip. Okay, and bring it back. We'll do that on the other side. Off to the side. What? Oh. Then back to the center line, I switch hands. can repeat that again with the strap, or the challenge is to not use a strap and just, if we keep our leg elevated and out to the side here, just more leg raises, and we're really going to work the thigh. So I challenge you to do it when you get tired, because it is harder. And also, if you lift your leg off the chair, having your leg on the chair and kind of using the chair as to kind of rub back and forth would be an easier level, which is fine. A little more difficulty is taking it off the chair, right there. Yikes. And then the other leg. Oh, it is. Yes. Yeah. So let's do that. Here's what I want to do. So we're going to do that motion. We're going to do it 5 times with our foot out, and then we'll rest. And then we're going to go 5 times with our foot angled to the midline. So let's give it a try. If you need to stop along the way and rest, that's fine. So we'll go out to the side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. Point and flex. And down. Same foot. Angle the toes to inside. 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. Whose idea was this? Okay. The other foot out, toes pointed to the outside, the foot flexed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. And lower. Same leg. Toes pointed to the center, to the midline. Out. 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. Point and flex, circles, crack, crack. Lower down. Oh my goodness. All right, time for some chair blasts off. And that just made me kind of sweat. So this is where we're going to assimilate, get in and out of the chair, and we can put our arms any way we want. We can put them on to the side, anything you want to do. So we're going to go 15 this time. If you want to stop along the way, please do. We've been doing this a few times. I feel like I need to challenge a little bit, but by all means, if you want to stop and take a break on one, you can do that. So everybody know what we're doing? Okay. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, we're breathing, 6, All right. Chair's there. Okay, time to get out of the chair. We haven't done some balance poses in a while. So, let's see, move your chair. Just move your chair so the back of the chair. Yes, so you can stand on your mat and then grab the high back of the chair. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to use the chair to balance, that's the key, as an assist. All we're going to do is pick a leg to a knee to raise, and everybody's just going to have to work on this on their own. So let's start with the leg closest to the chair will be our standing leg. So we want to get grounded on that foot because it's going to bear all of our weight. So before we do that, maybe raise your toes up and find all four corners of that foot. So you're not balancing off to the side, balancing a little more in the middle. You want to be squared up on that foot. Because once you're in the situation, in that pose and your hips are, shoulders all aligned, your body's going to respond to the balance the best if you start with that, building that foundation. So then we're going to raise the opposite knee up. Raising the knee up. And once you feel steady, you can let go of the chair or don't, or just keep it there. Keep doing that. Keep playing with it. Work towards, I know when you first let go of the chair, the ankle feels like it's really working and it starts shaking and quivering. This is just something to practice, which is what we're doing. And then once you feel like you're steady in that, you can start moving your arms. Use price, so that'll throw everything off. To the other side and find that good grounding in the other leg to use as your standing leg. And then when you're ready, you've found all four corners of that standing leg and you've got a good straight aligned posture. Just raise that knee in front of you, working towards 90 degrees. Chair if you can, or adding some arm movement. And then try closing your eyes and see what happens. Terrible. When you close your eyes, man, does everything wiggle wobble? No. I see people rubbing hips. Is that from the standing leg or the raised one? Both. Very good. Saw people going at it, trying it again. Moving arms. chairs in those positions, let's just enjoy our downward facing dog. So that is downward facing dog. And we'll get step back far enough so you can feel the stretch in your hamstrings and get a good stretch in your shoulders. And you want to strive, aim towards bringing those biceps on each side of our ears. And pressing those hip sits bones away from the chair. Step back a little bit. I'm going to see if I can hit you with a flex. There we go, there we go. Okay, you can walk yourself back up to the chair. And we're going to step back and do that again. And then when we get into that pose, I want to see what you can do about just lifting one leg off the ground a little bit. Doesn't need to go all the way back. It can, but just lift one leg back behind you. The other leg when you're ready. Okay, you can come back up. We'll sit back in our chair. Get in a pigeon pose. So that one is what we call right ankle, crossing the ankles. So right ankle on top of left knee. I'm going to scoot back against the chair because I'm going to press my hips back against the chair, keeping a straight spine, leaning your chest forward, trying to send your rib cage towards your bent leg until you feel that stretch where? Of the bent leg. You feel it in your hamstring? And an added stretch while you're in this position is to drop the arms down, because the only thing that brings is extra weight and gravity to bring you deeper into the stretch, the weight of your arms. But stop wherever you feel it and breathe. It's one to do after hiking also. Okay, what is your mind telling you right now? It hurts. And then what are you going to tell your mind back? Breathe. I'm not hurting you. Stay calm. These are very, very tough tissue around our hips to stretch. So I like to do them, and I try to stay in them for a while.
The longer you stay, it's not going to hurt you.
What's that?
The longer you stay, it's not going to hurt you or bother you.
No, in fact, the longer you stay,
you can do this watching TV.
You can.
7 minutes or 10 minutes.
Well, good luck. Well, no, you can. No, you can. But here's what happens. It gets so stretched when you come out of it you almost need to take your leg and go, ooh. I mean, it's just, so I'm not sure I've stayed in any stretch 10 minutes. Probably because my mind says, move on, but not that that's right. No, it's a tough one to stretch. And especially with all of our lateral movements of running and biking, this is the one I really like to get in. So other side. So now I've got my left ankle over the right knee. And with a flat, long spine, gaze looking down towards your toes. Foot flexed, keeping the foot flexed to protect the knee. So you can experiment with the breath here. On an inhale, think about the spine lengthening even more. And on an exhale, see if you can relax a little bit more into the pose. If you want to drop your arms down, or if you're just happy where that stretch is. Your way back up. And let's windshield wiper our knees. Let's put the bottoms of our feet and now we're just going to open and close our knees. And we'll send them wide. And then I'll move to the front of my chair. And then connect the knees and wide. One more that we'll do is eagle arms. So we're going to do eagle arms and eagle legs together. So I'll show you the arms first. We'll take the right arm underneath the left. So the elbows are on top of each other, and then we're going to raise our hands up and grab on to anything you can. Forearms, hands. So if you've got the right arm underneath the left, then we want the left knee over top of the right knee. So now let's check our posture, because once we're like this, we tend to do this because let's really fight to keep our posture in alignment. If you can wrap around, that's great, but what I really want people to do is to squeeze their legs, your thighs together. So you squeeze, just think of you're squeezing your thighs together, and your arms are an eagle. Everybody's breathing. Now we're just going to move our elbows towards our knee, and then come back up. Lower down. Come up. Squeezing the legs, squeezing the legs. Down and up, squeezing the legs. Now we're going to send our gaze high. And go down. And go send our gaze high one more time. Squeezing the legs, don't forget. now let's send the elbows back down to our knees. One more time, elbows to knees. Exhale. Come back up. Uncross. Okay, I'm going to remember which side we did first. Right arm, left arm underneath right. Left arm underneath. And we've got our left arm underneath, which means our right foot will cross over. We can hang out here, and we can still squeeze our thighs together. Or you can grab. And we're breathing here, stretching our backs. Squeezing the thighs. Now we're going to send our elbows towards our knee, almost like a sit-up. And come up. And lower down. Come back up. Squeezing the legs, thighs together. Come back up. Now we're going to send our elbows towards the ceiling and our gaze up. And lower down. We're going to gaze up again. And lower down. 2 more times to our knees. Don't let the thighs get lazy. We're squeezing. Uncross, 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 uncross. Uncross everything. And shake out. Okay. Let's do some ankle rotations before we make our way to Shavasana here. So, just some simple ankle movements. Point and flex. Spread those toes wide. We've been doing these a few different times. Anybody noticing any change that you've gotten your toes spread further apart? No? You're still staring at them? Do something.
They're stuck.
I see the little toe.
Yeah.
See?
A little bit.
I saw it. And the other side. So when you flex your foot, you can feel it all the way in the calf. This is just a good way to pump the old blood out of our lower extremities because gravity's always pulling stuff down. And then see if these toes work any better on this side. Okay, with our feet down, and I think we've only got one person about a mat, but just gently, we're bending our toes, just like a ballerina without our toe shoes on. And we feel the stretch in the top part, front part of our ankle. And then you can go to the side, get those little toes involved. Is that hurt on the floor? Okay. And then the other side. Very good. Well, let's make our way to Shavasana. Those of you that want to make your way to the mat, otherwise you can keep a good relaxed yet upright posture in the chair. Well, you did it. Another hour of movement to the bodies that we've been blessed with. Let your mind be still so your body can lie still. Feel the heaviness of the entirety of your body on the earth. You don't have to be anywhere. You don't have to solve anything. Your head feeling very heavy. Your shoulders relaxed. I like to picture myself laying on the sand and feeling heavy enough in all of my body that's in contact with the sand so that when I get up, I can see every indentation. Find yourself having this one thought keeps coming by time after time. Acknowledge it as just a thought and bring your focus back to your breath. body stretch before rolling over onto your right side. Make your way to an easy seat when you're ready. Resting your palms on your knees. We honor our bodies today. They do miraculous things for us every minute of every day of every month of every year. How blessed we are. Let's bring our palms together, thumbs to heart center, in honor of our miraculous bodies.